What's up, YouTube? It is your girl Latrina, and I am back again today with another tarot spread read. And starting off in our first row, we do get the Six of Pentacles, coming out with the Temperance card right on top of that, and then we get the Money card also in that first row. And then we do get the card of Patience, which is, and also the card of Concern in the reverse. And that Six of Pentacles does come with this message. F off is what that Six of Pentacles does deliver. And it looks like we are dealing with a situation that is regarding, the Six of Pentacles. That is the main topic of today. And it's also talking about give and take, equal give and take. And in my opinion, it's always been no equal give and take, when you see that Six of Pentacles, because there is a depiction of an individual that's actually spreading crumbs throughout a large group of people. And these crumbs, it's pretty much breadcrumbs. Like I said, they look like breadcrumbs on the card. So that's how I depict the card. But that is the topic of today, breadcrumbs. And it looks like these breadcrumbs has someone is not concerned about this equal give and take situation. They've had to use a lot of patience when dealing with this situation. Patience has been planning. And, patience is planning because we do get the concern card. Whatever they did work upon and, whatever they did patiently plan, it's actually got this older individual in concern. Or maybe, it doesn't. He's not concerned because he's actually coming out in the reverse. So maybe either he's appearing, not to be concerned, or he genuinely is not concerned. This individual here that was actually trying to bring something into balance. Whenever you see that Temperance card, that speaks of trying to bring something into balance. And it does regard this money. And with this money being in the reverse, that tells me that, he's trying to balance some things out. And he's trying to actually appear to not be concerned that his money is in the reverse. He's just trying to balance some things out, this individual. Something that he worked on or something that he's going through, regarding his money. And I'm not going to say him, but the reason I say him is because we do get this older gentleman that comes out not concerned. He comes out as not concerned. But I do believe anyone that is not, properly giving and taking, if there's some no equal give and take involved, then it would have somebody concerned. And if it's regarding some money that is in the reverse, that means that this money was not attained or that they don't have any money. This individual that we are speaking here that is trying to balance some things out, regarding this equal give and take topic or situation even, something that did require patience, you know, about this money situation here. That maybe, he wasn't, giving properly to a situation. There was no balance in it. And there was no money in this situation that we are discussing here. that did require patience. And it did involve an older gentleman, a silverback, someone that does have silver hair. In regard, it's in regards to that gentleman there. Because next in the second row, we get the high priestess in the reverse. And we also get the sadness card that does come out along with the world. The world card comes out in the second row, which I get a little excited when I see the world because that means something has come full circle upon somebody's intuition or maybe upon this high priest that's in the reverse. And when we're talking about money and we're also speaking of a gift, something that, was given, it's got this older gentleman in concern, but he's trying to play, save face and come out like he's not concerned, whoever this, but he is, because the world has come upon this tarot spread that has this gentleman in concern. And whomever this high priest in the reverse is, this may be a practitioner, or it may just be someone that has some spiritual gifts, someone that's spiritually gifted, this high priestess, the world has come upon this high priestess, and it may be a practitioner, and it's brought some sadness into their actual reality. Whatever has come full circle on this high priestess, it's made them sad. It's brought sadness. And it may be regarding a gift, like I said, something that they actually the gift was probably this money here. And it says there's memories, these memories of love also comes out in the reverse. So this has gotten someone into sadness. It's brought them into sadness. And I'm not sure if it's this high priestess, that this world has come upon. This world and this sadness regarding this gift. And these memories of love got this high priestess upset and sad. Someone is upset and sad. And it looks like it's this high priestess. When it comes out in the same row, and it looks like the world has come upon this high priestess. Some things have come full circle upon this high priestess, and it's caused her to be sad, and it is regarding some money and a gift. And, because we have in this third row, we got the Tower coming out. And we also got the Hope card, which, she's sprinkling roses into the ocean. And maybe she's hoping for something. But it's a really pretty depiction of these little teeny roses being sprinkled into the ocean. And she's hoping for something. And I'm assuming that, it may be dealing with this emperor that did come out in the reverse. And also, we get the Hope card again in this third row. So that's 2 Hope cards. So that's probably speaking of 2 individuals that are actually left with hope. They just have to hope when it comes to this money, because they've been left in sadness regarding this money. This money has left them in sadness because there has been a tower to this sudden wealth. Because we do get the Tower card right with that sudden wealth. And then it also even involves a dirty cop or a law official. Whatever sudden wealth that this tower did come upon, it speaks of a dirty cop and a law official. So that just clarifies that this reading and this false, appearance of no concern It's a false appearance, because see, the world has come unto this. Even the tower card has come unto this money situation regarding this sudden wealth. And it was regarding somebody was trying to penny pinch and breadcrumb, or maybe they feel like they're being breadcrumbed or penny pinched about this money and about this hope, something that they was hoping for. It was two individuals that was in a state of hope and probably prayer. And it's probably regarding this emperor in the reverse and this high priestess coming out in the second row. The tower has come upon their wealth. Their sudden wealth has been hit with a tower. And it did throw this emperor into the reverse, whatever tower that did hit his wealth. And it's probably dealing with a law official. Maybe the law official brought the tower, or maybe this law official is experiencing a tower by him being a dirty one, because it did say a dirty one. Someone's experiencing a tower. And maybe this emperor is the law official, that the world has come upon, that's left him in a state of hope. Him and his high priestess, and it's probably his practitioner, because a high priestess is usually speaking of someone with spiritual gifts. Like I said earlier, she's very gifted, but she is in the reverse, and it's probably what put her in the reverse is this sudden wealth, the tower that came upon this sudden wealth, and this money that was in the reverse. They didn't even get this sudden wealth or this money either. I'm assuming that this money is referring to the sudden wealth. They're both one and the same. And because they had patience on this matter. They were extremely patient when it's dealing with this money and this actual sudden wealth that the tower did come upon. And it's left two people with no kind of emotions but hope. They don't even want to show concern about this tower that hit their finances. This tower hit their sudden wealth. Something has brought a tower to their wealth. Maybe, they were in expectation. They were hoping for this sudden wealth. But the tower came upon it. Because see, then we next have the Five of Wands in the reverse, which speaks of conflict. And it's in the reverse, so it means someone is trying to come out of conflict or avoid conflict with this attorney card coming out also. Because we get the friend card, the friend and the enemy, all in the same card. So it's one of those frenemies that we're discussing here. Maybe something was rejected when we're talking about this frenemy. Something got rejected, and it did bring a tower unto their sudden wealth, or their expectation of wealth. This tower did come upon this wealth. We can put all these away, and it did require them to, they were hoping for something. They were hoping for this money, and they were hoping for this sudden wealth, that the tower came upon it. The tower came upon their hope even, because we get the hope card in the very same row, right with that tower. We get two hope cards that came with that tower. I'll show you again, this is double hope right here. Two hope cards upon this emperor. Whatever tower he did experience is actually just, he was hoping. He was hoping, like I said, but like I said, the tower did come upon this sudden wealth that he was hoping for. And the reason that this tower came was because he was a frenemy. He wasn't a loyal or genuine individual. Something was rejected when it comes to this sudden wealth. And when it comes to this frenemy, something was rejected because of someone's spiritual strength. It was rejected by the universe. And even, somebody was even in poverty when we're discussing this tower. So that really, really gave them no hope, or, it left them in a state of hope. They had to hope for spiritual strength. This frenemy that was trying to attain this sudden wealth, it got rejected. It got sent back to return to sender because someone has spiritual strength. This poverty was returned to sender because of someone's spiritual strength. And the conflict that they did try to create, but someone wants to actually come out of conflict because of your spiritual strength as well, because those come out in the same row. Someone wants to put an end to the conflict because of your spiritual strength. And because of this tower that hit their wealth, hit their pockets, and hit their finances hard, because it flipped their money in the reverse. Whatever breadcrumbing and, whatever measures they were taking to try to balance something out that they're trying to appear not concerned about. This was actually rejected from the universe because the tower did come upon this actual law official. The tower came upon this official person, this law official, coming out as the emperor, also standing next to this high priestess, which is a spiritual, and that confirms it. When the spiritual leader, this high priestess, she's actually a spiritual person. She may be some kind of individual that has spiritual rank. She has spiritual, intelligence. She operates through her spiritual cavities, Something was rejected. And it's due to their spiritual strength and them not having any strength. That's why they want to come out of conflict, because of your spiritual strength also. And then next we get the Queen of Swords coming out with the message of the green light. And then we get the bad health card with that. And we also get the waiting game. And this Queen of Wands comes out in this 5th row. And she comes out with the card of some money. There's another money card. Someone's worried about some money that they didn't attain. Some money that they was hoping for. They had a double hope. They was playing the waiting game for this money. And even it did end up putting them into bad health. Whatever waiting game, and they thought they had the green light when it came to this money. They was waiting for a green light. They was playing the waiting game for a green light. Dealing with this money that they didn't even attain. Whatever they waited on and whatever they hoped for, they didn't even have the spiritual ranking. This high priest, she may be like I had said the name earlier and I done forgot what her definition was. Someone like a practitioner is what I was calling this high priestess. She's showing up as like a practitioner, and that confirms it with this spiritual card. It confirms that she was a working practitioner. And then we get the lost card also coming out in that very last row, along with the Page of Cups, which means, that they got some bad news. And the bad news was this loss that did come upon the spread today. And this tower, again, this is the second tower that we do get in this read right here. So that's 2 towers and 2 hope cards. Upon this mature male, we have another individual showing up in the spread. So that totals 3 people because we had a mature male here. We also get a mature male here. And then we got this high priest that we are discussing, as well as the Queen of Swords that does come out. And then we also get the Ten of Swords in the reverse in that very last row. And that Ten of Swords, it means that somebody tried to end an individual. And by being in the reverse, that means that they weren't able to accomplish that betrayal. It did not end anyone. It did not put an end to anyone. And this disruption that they tried to cause, and this tower that they tried to bring upon this individual, coming from this mature man. And he tried to put an end to your health and wellness even, because that is the message that we get with that Ten of Swords. He tried to cause a disruption to your health and wellness. And this is regarding some money or the loss of it, or trying to prevent the loss of it. Because you see, they did have to actually wait. They had to wait on something because we got that timing card, the waiting game, that just confirms that something was being waited upon. And as they were waiting upon you to actually come into bad health, because see, they did try to put an end to your health and wellness. And that's what the waiting game was about. They was waiting on you to fall into bad health. And then they got this Queen of Swords coming out, and that's probably you, that they were waiting to fall into bad health. Regarding this money. And this Queen of Wands is the person that was actually waiting for you to fall upon an illness and some bad health. Because she was actually waiting on this money. She was playing the waiting game for this money also. And so it was a necessity that your health did fall. And that's why they got this practitioner showing up here. This high priestess, this practitioner shows up because she's not got any spiritual strength. This high priestess had an issue with spiritual strength in this read because they both come out. And this practitioner didn't have the spiritual strength to actually, and it brought her into sadness because the world came upon her spiritual strength. Since some things have come full circle upon this high priestess's spiritual strength. Whatever gift that she was waiting for, because we do get that, patient card. She was waiting for your health to cause a disruption in your health because she hired a high priestess to take you out. But this high priestess couldn't even match your spiritual strength because she did come out in the reverse. But she was waiting on your health to fail so that she could receive this gift. And this gift is actually money, because we do get 2 money cards coming out on the first row, which is the topic of, this is the main topic whenever it comes out in the first row. And then we also get it in the 5th row. We get the money card. And this one says some money, and that one just says money. So we got 2 money cards. Then we get the sudden wealth. This is the 3rd money card that they were waiting upon. And they were actually banking that your health was going to fail, that they could cause a tower to your health by using this high priestess. And she is a practitioner. They went to a practitioner to try to attain this wealth, but it brought them into sadness. And it left them with nothing but hope. All they could do was hope that you actually did fall ill so that they could take this gift, coming out as money. This gift is coming out as money. The world has come upon this situation that they've been waiting upon and that they've been hoping for, this sudden wealth and this money. The world has come upon that situation in today's read. And the world has come upon this practitioner for trying to breadcrumb your money, probably trying to take possession so that they could actually control something that was not theirs. They was trying to take control through using, whatever magic or whatever type of abilities that this high priestess carries. It's a practitioner, and she was working and patiently waiting along with this mature man, this old man. He's pretty old. They were told to F off when it comes to this breadcrumbs, this no equal give and take. Someone was told to F off. And someone is coming out as confident, but they're really concerned. Whenever you see that in the reverse like that, that means they want to hide their, hide their true nature. They don't want to show that aspect of their emotions, because see, they did have this patience when we're dealing with this money and this frenemy. We can't forget that he came out. This frenemy's in poverty, and that's exactly why he was patiently waiting on this money to go through, and the conflict that he did create. This frenemy created conflict amongst these attorneys and these civil matters. And he was trying to come out of poverty. That was the reason that he created the conflict, that he now wants to come up out of conflict, because whenever that's in the reverse, he wants to stop and put an end to the conflict regarding this money that they patiently waited on by using, they were using the practitioners to try to get this money. Where these go? There's so many cards out here. The Tower came twice in this spread. We got the Tower there, and then we also got the Tower here. Where did it go? Hope. No, that's the Emperor that got this Tower. It's a double Tower. So him and his practitioner both received the Tower because of someone's spiritual strength. Where did that other Tower go? Well, this is the first one. And the second one, I'm thinking it must be buried in these somewhere. This Queen of Wands, this Emperor, this practitioner, they wanted you to be in bad health, and they was waiting for it. Just waiting for you to fall ill so that they could attain this money. And it is dealing legal issues, because it's got an attorney coming out, and we got a law official also. So that's probably what had them waiting, was that actual law official. I was so trying to find this Tower. I thought I had seen two Towers come out in this spread. Patience, sudden wealth, rejection. Oh, here it is. There it goes right there. There goes the second Tower that they were waiting upon. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. Two Towers they were trying to bring upon you, but they actually experienced two Towers themselves. And it left them, two individuals was left in a state of hope. They had the hope. They were waiting, patiently waiting and hoping that you would fall ill so that they could attain some sudden wealth.